is with us as a chief guest to bless us on this occasion. Professor R. A. Yadav is a very well-known name in the field of management education and technical education. He holds his master degree from Punjab University, Chandigarh, with first class, first rank gold medalist. He holds his PhD degree from Delhi School of Economics. He was chairman and vice chairman of All India Council of Technical Education. He was founder director of Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, which is ranked among the top business schools today. And during his tenure in AICTE, he has been instrumental in getting a provisional membership to the India for Washington Accord, through which all these outcome-based education, learning outcome-based education, NBA accreditation, all that is happening, he has been instrumental in getting India recognized during his tenure as chairman and vice chairman of All India Council of Technical Education. He has been a professor of strategic management and finance at Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi University. He has number of awards and honors to his credit, and he has been visiting professor in a Catholic University, Belgium. Dr. Yadav has been on the board of governor on IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta, IIM Kozhikode, IIM Lucknow, and whatnot. And you can see it is very difficult to brief up his achievement in a limited time. You can see it is our proud privilege that he has agreed to be with us today. We welcome you, sir. Welcome from the bottom of my heart. I welcome Professor Upam. Professor Upam is Professor of Human Resource Management at Indian Institute of Management, Trichypalli. Before coming to academic profession, she was in defense services in Air Force for 10 years. She did his doctorate from IIM Bangalore, and presently she is teaching at Trichypalli in the area of human behavior and organizational behavior. We have with us our alumni as a guest of honor, Ms. Anuja Agarwal. She did his master from Haryana School of Business in 2002 and moved to Bangalore. For some time she was in profession as a professional, but later she turned to be an entrepreneur, and today she is heading a company as a chairperson and managing director, and her company is among the top 10 company in that industry in India. We welcome Anuja, and we wish all our alumni to reach to such rank when we can feel proud. I welcome all the conference organizers, our Dean Madam. I also welcome an administrator who has been always instrumental, always helpful, and always ready to help the organizers and Haryana School of Business, especially Professor Avnesh Vermaji, our worthy registrar. Our Vice Chancellor, who is a scientist agriculture scientist of par excellence. He has more than 25 years of rich experience to his credit and more than 260 publications in Journal of National and International Repute. He has been instrumental in several achievements in the field of agriculture, whether they are related to crops or related to irrigation, and has always been available to the cause of farmer and farming community in this region. And he is a very well-known professor of agronomy. We welcome you, sir. We welcome our conference convener, Dr. Sangeeta and Dr. Vandana. We welcome all our esteemed invited resource person who are with us in blended mode, online and offline. We welcome Dean, Director, Chairpersons, Officers, Media Representative, Conference Delegates, and we welcome our students, our research scholar. This is the 14th Annual National Conference which we are regularly holding. I was briefing to the chief guest in the morning that whatever has been the circumstances due to COVID in last 2 years, but your Haryana School of Business has not postponed even a single academic activity on account of this. And whatever we have planned, we have been doing it as per planning. And I say, for us, there has been no effect of COVID on the student and scholars of Haryana School of Business and on our academic activities. These are the blessings of senior people like you. I must make a disclosure that 28 years back, when I came into academic, Professor R.A. Yadav at that time was the director of Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, and he was also the chairman of selection committee. I hope he may recollect it, and it is he under whose chairmanship I was selected to teach management education. One very small instance that may be very useful to the research scholar. During the interview, he asked me one question: what is the difference between stock and share? And that I replied to my mind. And very interesting question. Downstairs there was in LBS, there was a library. He asked me, go downstairs in the library and pick up that book in which you have read this concept. And I remember within a few minutes, I came back with a book of corporate finance by James Van Horn. And I think that was the only question and answer on the basis of which he selected me. Thank you very much, sir, retrospectively. And sir, this is the rich culture of Haryana School of Business, rich academic culture that we announce in advance and then we execute our academic plan. This is the 14th Annual National Conference which we are holding today and tomorrow. Our 15th Annual National Conference on Business and Management, with the permission of Honorable Vice Chancellor, I would like to announce, would be organized on February 9th and 10th, 2023. And Dr. Suresh Kumar Bhakar, if he is here, Professor Suresh Kumar Bhakar and Professor Vijender Pal Seni will be the convener of that conference. This is the tradition that when we hold the inaugural session, we announce the next conference along with its date, schedule and convener. This is with this, sir. I welcome one and all. I also wish to request those who are handling the stage that Honorable Vice Chancellor has an urgent work at Haryana Agriculture University and we have to free him before 12 o'clock. Therefore, a bit change in the schedule program we may let you know soon. Thank you very much. Welcome again. Namaskar. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Much obliged for your kind words, sir. I now request Professor Shabnam Saxena, Dean, Haryana School of Business, to brief the audience about Haryana School of Business.
Click करना है. A very good morning to all of you. Most respected Professor R.A. Yadav, former Chairman AICTE New Delhi, Chief Guest of this HSB 14th Annual National Conference on Business and Management. Professor B.R. Kamboj, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Guru Jameshwar University of Science and Technology, who is presiding over this inaugural session. Professor Uppam P. Makhicha, IIM Tiruchirappalli, Keynote Speaker of the Day. Ms. Anuja Agarwal, Chairman and Managing Director, Invest Ascent Wealth Advisors Limited, Guest of Honor. Professor Karampal Narwal, Director, Haryana School of Business. Professor Avnish Verma, Registrar, Guru Jameshwar University of Science and Technology. Dr. Sangeeta Mittal and Dr. Vandana Singh, conveners of the conference. Worthy colleagues, officers of the university, dear students and friends from press and media. I, as conference mentor, extend my heartiest welcome to all of you in this inaugural session of HSB 14th Annual National Conference on Business and Management, and wish all the best for the success of this conference. With congratulating Dr. Suresh Kumar Bhakar and Dr. Vijendra Pal Sani, the conveners of the next conference, here is HSB at a glance. Sir, this is the vision of the Haryana School of Business. This is my duty to introduce all of you to HSB. There are 10 mission statements to fulfill this vision of Haryana School of Business. Just a minute. Next. There are 10 mission statements to fulfill this vision of Haryana School of Business. We all are putting all the efforts for fulfilling all these missions. Here's the journey of Haryana School of Business. It was started in 1995 as Department of Business Management. That was the integral part of Regional Center of Kurukshetra University, later on elevated to this university. In 1996, we got recognition from AICTE with 150 seats. In 2006, a committee was constituted under the chairmanship of Professor J.S. Chokar to elevate this department to business school. And in 2007, this business school of Department of Business Management and Department of Business Economics were amalgamated to make HSB. In 2008, there was a change in State Assembly, means that was passed with some amendments in GJU SNT Act. In 2008 onwards, we are heading with Haryana School of Business with intake of MBA 180 seats and MCOM of 180 seats, and with approved teaching post 45 plus, supporting staff post 25 plus, and we have introduced almost many super specializations. These are the intakes for different programs. Sir, I would like to mention here that in this year, 2021, we have started this MBA with business analytics with 30 intake. And the very precious program, PhD program of our HSB, we are having almost 275 research scholars in our department. This is outcome-based education of Haryana School of Business. We are following strictly the norms of AICTE and UGC for having the outcome-based education. And these are the means very premier issues of outcome-based education. Main is research project is an integral part of course curriculum. And this year we have introduced in-company project. The students who got placement in 4th semester, they can take in-company project in their company, respective company, and they can complete their this degree. And our syllabus is upgraded after every alternate year. And we do incorporate all the developments and requirements of industry and corporate. Last, it was updated in 2020. We are running these courses, MBA, MBA Finance, MBA Marketing, MBA IB, and along with MBA Business Analytics, which was started in this year. These are the qualifications which we take as the intake of the students. MCOM program is also there, PhD program is also there. Regular faculty members are 27. Out of them, 18 are professors. This is a very prominent point. Associate professors are 3 and assistant professors are 6, with contractual faculty 6 in number, and most of them are qualified as regular faculty members. This is a glance of you can have a glimpse of our faculty members. Infrastructure of HSB. We do have all the requisite infrastructure, latest state-of-art infrastructure with our HSB building. You can have a glance of this infrastructure, sir, after this inaugural session. Our faculty members have published more than 5,000 research papers in various journals of national and international repute. All are very highly prestigious journals. International publications 1,000, national 4,000. You can have a glance. Citations are more than 5,000. So these are the books, edited books, which we have published out of all conferences. We do publish every year the edited book, which will means the book for this conference will be released very soon in this inaugural session. 12 books have been published. This is the research journal. Sir, we do publish this research journal, HSB Research Review, named as HSB Research Review, which is UGC care listed. And we have started to publish this journal in January 2011. Professor Anju Verma and Professor Savita Uba are the present editors of this journal. We got this special assistance grant from UGC in 2002 and 2007. And our HSB faculty is engaged, constantly engaged in funded research projects and collaborative projects. Our faculty members have been awarded with various awards. This is the list of the awards. We have organized 13 annual national conferences on business and management, and 14th is in progress. Workshops 15, national seminars 10, refresher courses 8. This is the list of national conferences and workshops. Yes, sir, this is very important aspect. We do publish, nowadays we do publish digital placement and training brochures for students, and we do send these brochures to the companies, various companies. And as far as our placement figure is concerned, this is more than 75%. Means the students get campus placement. We do put all of our efforts for getting the students placed even before passing their exams of 4th semester. And placement scenario in recent times has been showing uptrends even during this COVID scenario. These are some of the glimpses of placement aspects. HSB regularly organized co-curricular activities and extracurricular activities. These are conducted for 360-degree personality development of the students under the banner of various HSB clubs and societies. We do have alumni club, entrepreneurship club, cultural activities club, and adventure club. Some of the flagship activities are month-end post-budget analysis. We do have this post-budget analysis very soon because budget have been presented in the parliament. HSBN's talk. This is an activity which is very prominent, very popular among the students. We do organize HSBN talks with the alumnus of HSB who are placed at very prestigious positions. Delvin competitive activities are organized by HSB. Student stock exchange. Yes, we do have a permanent feature from last 14 years. We are organizing this student stock exchange, and this is a mock student stock exchange where students go for virtual selling and purchasing of stock and shares. Entrepreneurship development workshops are also organized for students. Sir, this is a very important aspect. Even in the morning, we have praised you about this. HSB has recently applied for NBA accreditation in September 2021. And NBA peer team has recently visited HSB on 7th to 9th January 2022 for assessment. We at HSB are eagerly waiting for the outcome of that assessment and very hopeful to have the expected outcome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. We could not have pulled this off without your kind words. I now request Dr. Professor Avnish Verma, Registrar of the University, to address the August gathering.
Good morning, all. Professor R.A. Yadav ji, the chief guest of today's morning in this inaugural function of Haryana School of Business. Professor B.R. Kamboj ji, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Guru Jambheshwar University and HAU Hisar. Professor Shabnam Saxena ji, the conference mentor and Dean HSB. Professor Karmpal Narwal ji, the conference director and director HSB. Professor Hukum Pushpak, the professor from IM Trichy and the keynote speaker of this conference. Ms. Anuja Agarwal, chairperson and MD, Invest Ascent Bangalore, the guest of honor of the conference. Dr. Sangeeta Mittal, esteemed professors of HSB and Guru Jambheshwar University, distinguished guests present here, dear students. So before I say anything about the HSB and regarding the conference and management, I would like to give you the glimpse of the university. The university is very young. It is only 26 years of the age and is running fast and in academic and elsewhere activities. I consider this university is far ahead of any university in this region. Sir, the university named by Guru Jambheshwar Ji Maharaj. The Guru Jambheshwar Ji Maharaj was a saint who envisioned in the 15th century the need of saving nature and initiated the sect of preach and follow the path of harmonious growth with the nature. His teaching includes the compassion towards the nature and protection of the life as a supreme religion goal. He founded the Bishnoi sect in 1485 AD. He expounded his religion philosophy and the essence of these principles in the form of the verses. The Guru Jambishwarji Maharaj achieved nirvana in 1536 in village in the district of Bikaner, Rajasthan. And this university was initiated on the October 20th, 1995 under the Haryana State Legislative Act. The university has 372 acres of the land and is lush green with, it started with 18 teaching department and classified in 10 faculties for coordinating the teaching in the particular and effective governance in general, and was initiated for the science and technology. Now the university is offering 17 programs through distance mode and is a journal university. It has not only the engineering and management subjects, but it has so many other courses are running in regular mode and distance education mode. The university got accreditation in 2002 and in 2009 it got A grade. The CGPA is 3.26 and since then it is maintaining the A grade, and in 2014 it has got 5 years recognition for the A grade up till 2019 and extended for 5+2 and up till 2021 the university is having A grade. As far as the other facilities available in the university campus, I tell you the university library is having more than 95,000 of the book and more than 52,000 periodicals. It has 180 Indian journals, 175 e-journals, 58 magazines and 18 newspapers. The university is also offering 7,100 e-journals with the help of UGC InfluNet, and the library is equipped with all facilities with the reading room and other facilities for the students and the teachers and the scholars. There is a computer center and information center also within the university, which has 250 computers and 6 labs. The university has 9 hostels, 4 hostels for the boys and 4 hostels for the girls, and 1 is for the working woman hostel. The another hostel is coming very fast and will have a number 10. The university is known for its academics and the science and technology activities, but besides that, the university has a very good sports activity and sports ground here. It has 2 synthetic badminton courts, the table tennis hall, gymnasium hall, 13 stations, the multi-gym, 6 stations. Multi-gym is dedicated for the women only. And along with this, it has a football, handball, cricket, and athletic grounds also. And regularly, there is a feature of athletic meet within the university. University has a central facility for the research scholars, for the teachers and others. And it has a very good equipments within the central facility, like MNR has 400 megahertz and there is a UV and spectrometers and other facilities are available where the students can go and have the experimentation and get the result of their slides and other samples. A very good training and placement department, which has so many things in its credit and is continuously helping the students also. The University Health Department has 3 MBBS, 1 BDS doctor, and it has some 120 OPD every day. Academic output and academic awards for this university is so much, and it has produced in 26 in this 26 years of the journey, more than 15,000 students has been awarded UG and PG degree, and more than 2 lakhs in the distance education, and more than 800 PhD degree has been awarded to the research scholar, and more than 700 the scholars are enrolled in the research work. As I said, the academic excellence is there, and you will be surprised to know that the research recognition of this university is such that it has more than 3,000 Scopus listed research journals. H index is 95 and citation is 16.41 per paper. Nearly 20 national and 18 international collaboration. The social recognition is also very good, because otherwise the university was started with a theme for the environment protection and other things. The university has got first prize for the best awareness drive also. It has been awarded TCUP scheme by the World Bank. The university has a SC/ST cell also, and there are some scholarships are running for the SC and BC scholarships. The one of them is post-matric scholarship for the SC students, and the other is a stipend for the BC students also. The university has a Human Resource Development Center, which is the best center in the region, which was earlier known as Academic Staff College. The Student Welfare Center, the Director of Youth Welfare University has a women's cell also. It has a National Service Scheme, NSS, the National Cadet Corps also within the university. So every kind of facility, and the university has excelled in every corner, whether it is the field of academic, whether it is a field of sports or socially or environmentally, which was the actual aim and theme behind the inception of this university. Since I am not a student of management, but I have come across so many times across the management functioning, and I consider this conference is a very welcome step, and it is a regular feature of HSB. So I can congratulate the entire staff of HSB and their team, because they are continuously organizing such a conference, and this is the 14th conference. So many congratulations to the team and the staff members. So being an engineering student, I tell you, there is no place where there is no management. Everywhere, wherever you will go, you will find a management. I was in industry for 3 years. We were producing a product. A product is made within the university and within the industry, but without any management, without any marketing ability. Those who produce that product, they cannot sell that product. They require management people. And without the management help, it is not possible to rise your industry, to rise your product, to come up to the expectation of the consumer. When I am in the university and in academics, I find without knowing the management well, without using the management techniques among your staff members, within the class, among the students, you will not be successful without any management. Management is there in a social activities also. Management is there in your household activities also. You see, if I take this management in the other way, from the other point of view, from the point of view of the other people, those who are not from management and they are from the other fields, they will tell you that management people, they poke their nose everywhere. And you see, I was there in I am Indore in 2014. There was a professor, he was delivering a lecture and was telling that yes, I was there and one car was coming and it was very successful internationally. But in his research activity or the research results, he declared that this type of production in India with this type of model is not successful. Whereas from the mechanical point of view, from the technical point of view, the car has everything, every feature, the aerodynamic shape. But because the manufacturing was going to held at the first floor of that industry, he declared that yes, this car manufacturing will not be successful in India. And today we know that that car is nowhere in the road of Indian roads and has not been successful. However, that company has sued that person, and he was fighting that case against that company in 2014. But now 2022, that is the truth. Management people, they go for stock exchange. They teach their students stock exchange. When I was in industry, during my 3 years of journey, two model schemes. One is QIP, quality assurance, okay, quality check. Whenever you will go out of this, you will have to clear your quality check. The another one, which was my third year, JIT. JIT was just in time. I was surprised. We are manufacturing with all techniques. We are employing all engineering. Why this management people are coming every year? But now I'm fully convinced without management, nothing is possible. And I have surrendered myself. So very many congratulations to the organizers and their zeal for their subject, their enthusiasm, and the department is fully equipped and as a rock standing structure is there, a titanic kind of structure, which I usually say about the HSB building, the architect. So thank you very much. Without taking much of the time, I'll take your leave. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for your motivating words. I now request Dr. Vandana Singh, conference convener, to brief the audience about this year's conference.
Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. With this quote, I greet a very good morning to all of you. Esteemed Professor R.A. Yadav, former chairman, AICTE New Delhi, the chief guest of the inaugural, learned Professor Upam Pushpak Makhecha, Professor, Indian Institute of Management, Trichy, the keynote speaker of the session, magnate Ms. Anuja Agarwal, chairman and MD, Invest Ascent Wealth Advisors Private Limited, Bangalore, the guest of honor for the occasion, visionary Professor B.R. Kamboj, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Guru Jambheshwar University of Science and Technology, Hisar, worthy Registrar of the University, Professor Avnesh Verma, Revered Dean, Haryana School of Business, Professor Shabnam Saxena, and motivation of the conference as conference mentor, esteemed Professor Karampal Narwal, Director, Haryana School of Business, and inspiration of the conference as conference director, scholarly Dr. Sangeeta Mittal, the co-convener in organizing the conference, learned resource persons, deans, directors, chairpersons, in charges, faculty members of HSB and of other departments, officials of the university, representatives of media and press, delegates, researchers, energetic students, ladies and gentlemen. The HSB 14th Annual National Conference on Business and Management is another step towards the series of management conferences and seminars in India. It is an effort to bring together researchers, academicians, practitioners from the field of management and its allied disciplines on a common podium for discussions, deliberations, networking, and exchanging recent trends and key issues. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to mention here that this conference is an annual feature in the programs and events calendar of HSB. The entire HSB family puts in relentless and unswerving efforts to make this academic event a success every year. The HSB First Annual National Conference on Business and Management was organized by Professor V.K. Vishnoi, and then one by one, each one of us has proudly added a feather in the cap by organizing this mega event. Let us now have a look at the program of HSB 14th Annual National Conference. The conference has got good response and more than 120 research papers representing different institutions from all over Haryana and other states such as Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Chandigarh, Jammu, Delhi NCR, and Karnataka will be part of the research deliberations. One plenary session on the topic National Education Policy 2020 Challenges Before Professional Education will be coordinated by Professor Sanjeev Kumar, wherein scholarly resource persons from different universities will provide us an insight into how national education policy will transform the professional education through major reforms and what challenges professional education will face and how to overcome them. Another important aspect of the conference is the publication of selected papers in the form of an edited book, namely Quintessential Reflections, Management Theory, Research and Practices, edited by Professor Shabnam Saxena, Professor Karampal Narwal, Dr. Sangeeta Mittal, and myself, and published by DBH Publisher, New Delhi. This book is a reflection of important areas of management. A total of 53 research papers have been published in the book, which have been selected through a blind peer review process. The book is segregated into 4 sections: finance and accounting, human resource management, marketing management, and strategic management and economic trends. It is a compilation that lets you travel through research arena without moving your feet. In the area of finance and accounting, the research papers tried to examine Indian stock exchange with many eyes, like the relationship with gold, index movement, volatility, market risk, risk return dynamics, etc., along with the studies related to efficiency of Indian banking sector, behavioral finance, and fiscal federalism. With regard to human resource management, many important and emerging issues have been raised in the researches. For example, employee ambidexterity, job hopping, gender inclusion, COVID impact on mental health, satisfaction among overqualified employees, and many more. The papers in marketing management includes areas such as use of OTT platforms, organic farming, one-click shopping, contactless practices, usage of ICT in agriculture, and other important areas of marketing. The areas of strategic management and economic trends includes research works on the topic such as intellectual property rights, EKC hypothesis, entrepreneurial intentions, ARDL co-integration, COVID-19 impact on e-commerce, and many more. Overall, I sincerely hope that the conference is going to be highly productive and the next 2 days of discussions and paper presentations will be beneficial for all of us. I convey good wishes to all the presenters and participants. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing the useful information with us. Moving on, no matter how precious and beautiful a moment is, it will ultimately pass. A memento is an attempt to keep that memory alive. Memento is a token of gratitude and souvenir of presence. I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to please present a shawl to our Chief Guest, Professor R.A. Yadav, respected Registrar, to present a memento to our Chief Guest.
I request Dean, Haryana School of Business, to please present a memento to Honorable Vice Chancellor B.R. Kamboj and Director, Haryana School of Business, to present a shawl to Honorable Vice Chancellor.
I request Dean, Haryana School of Business, to please present a shawl to Registrar Professor Avnesh Verma, Guru Jambheshwar University, and Director, Haryana School of Business, to present a memento.
Thank you, everyone, for this kind gesture. It's the time to release book titled Quintessential Reflections, Management Theory, Research and Practices, edited by Professor Shabnam Saxena, Professor Karampal Narwal, Dr. Sangeeta Mittal, Dr. Vandana Singh, and published by DBH Publishers and Distributors, New Delhi.
In total, there are 53 research papers which have been published having ISBN number. The major 4 areas of the books are finance and accounting includes 15 research papers, human resource management includes 17 research papers, marketing management include 11 research papers, strategic management and economic trends include 10 research papers.
I now request the dignitaries to release the book. Let's
Let's give a round of applause for the same. Thank you, everyone. I now request Professor R.A. Yadav, former chairman, AICTE New Delhi, to address the audience. Please, sir.
Just friends, good morning to all of you. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Compose, Professor Makheja, Ms. Anuja Agarwal, Professor Verma, Professor Sabnam Saxena, Dr. Vandana Singh, Dr. Sangeeta Mehta, Professor Karampal, Conference Director, Deans, Professors, distinguished guests, delegates, students, ladies and gentlemen. Today, it's a great privilege and honor for me to be with all of you. And frankly speaking, I get delighted and feel more honored to be with the fraternity. And today, Haryana School of Business has given this opportunity to me. I express my sincere thanks to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Karampal, Dean, Professor, and entire fraternity of Haryana School of Business and entire fraternity of Guru Jambhesar University. Friends, when Professor Karampal just telephoned me regarding this conference, and absolutely immediately I said, yes, I will come. It's a great honor, and I belong to Haryana. Again, I feel great honor. I had been with this university around about 15 to 16 years back. But today, I found such a beautiful green. I got delighted just while entering at the gate. Now, my friends, I just asked on which particular topic should I speak? What are you expecting from me? And he pointed out, said, that's all up to you. Then I saw the theme also, this conference theme.
And I was in a fix on which particular topic should I speak. My friend, then I found, first I looked at the environment in which we are living today. And the environment is, world environment I'm talking, volatile, uncertain, complex, diverse, ambiguous, digitally driven, globally integrated. That means any activity we are doing today getting affected by the environment. And under these circumstances, as educationists, that all we are in the university, what sort of role we should play to move further? And then in this environment, I just look at what the society is talking about education. Very briefly, because the time is limited, I'll make one statement. That everywhere, every part of the corner, even new education policy, that is one of the tasks being addressed in the new education policy. That is, there is a gap between the learning outcome, that is the universities, schools, right from primary schools, absolutely they are imparting on the part of the students, and the expected learning outcome on the part of the students by society and corporate. There is a gap. Normally, this has come out, educational survey report, that is our 8th standard student is not equivalent to 8th standard. He is having certificate, but worth is maybe even 2nd standard, maybe even 3rd standard, 4th standard in terms of learning outcome. And my friend, I don't hesitate mentioning this also, that even in higher education, the situation is not that good. Day in, day out, it is being said that our graduates, maybe management graduates, engineering graduates, law graduates, in medical graduates, passing out from the university, they are not degree worth. They have a degree, but they are not being accepted by the society in terms of employment. There is a high degree of unemployment. Management graduates are there, even if getting job, not worth that. And then I thought, under these circumstances, that which topic should I take? And one more word I would like to say. This gap, the seriousness or the gravity of this gap is further increasing on account of the uncertain environment, volatile environment. And this gravity of the volatility, complexity, uncertainty, ambiguity, diversity is further increasing, fast increasing on account of certain change drivers. One statement I'll brief: the change drivers, technology is changing very fast. Not being changed, is being copied also very fast. IT revolution, e-commerce, innovations and ideas are becoming more important than the products and services. Virtual organization. As a result, the world complexity in terms of this volatility that's going up. And education is not an exception, my friends, in which we are living. Further would affect it. Then I decided to speak on a particular theme. And the theme of today's talk would be rethinking management education in volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, and digital environment and in view of NEP, New Education Policy, where we are to address. This is the theme that I have decided. And I'll try to say very briefly, I'll try to touch certain points where the conference absolutely we can debate over a period of 2 days. We can have debate over a period of 2 days. The number of technical sessions are there. And I'll brief or I'll put my thoughts based on my experience over a period of 45 years under 3 parts. Number 1, the gap, disconnect between the educational institutions and the corporate and society. There's a gap, there's a disconnect. I'll talk about that. And the gap is increasing. Then, as a result of the gap, what has been the experiences of business and industry and the management schools? Where do we stand? And third part, is there any need of rethinking? If there is a need of rethinking, then in what respect we should rethink? What respect we should rethink? And finally, concluding remarks. Therefore, first part that I have decided, as far as the rethinking part is concerned, Professor Verma pointed out that management everywhere. My friend, whether the organization, family, nation, individual, all we have the vision, all we have the mission, all we have the objective. Environment is such where everywhere the management is required. Whether time constraint is there, activities, priorities required, resources, limited resources, information technology, absolutely big data and information is the key these days. Manpower is not that it used to be 20 years back, 30 years back. Today, the intelligent manpower. With every respect, we are to think of management. Hence, management has become an essential way of life everywhere. And with this essential way of life, as far as gaps are concerned, I'm talking the gap between 2 things. One, the employability attributes on the part of the graduates that we should see at the end whenever they pass out. Employability graduates. And these employability attributes in terms of the 21st century. Critical thinking, decision making, problem solving, teamwork, these certain things absolutely very, very important. And what are the employability attributes that is the corporate and the society is expecting? In these two, the gap is increasing. That gap is to be addressed. As a result of the gap, I'm putting certain facts in front of all of you so that we understand that in which world we are going to live. And that experience I'm sharing with you, first the business and industry. I'm just talking of the 100 years history. Because the management schools, first management schools, started in 1881, the Wharton Business School. Therefore, the business schools are having more than 100-year history. Then I thought of that we can think of 100-year history. My friend, in these 100-year history, there have been big events in the world. Big events I just briefly noted down. That is World War, first and two, volatile economic cycles, political upheavals in the various countries, global financial crisis 2008, And my friend, latest all we are aware about it, all young generation, everyone we are aware about COVID 2019. And finally, technology disruptions. And as a result of technology disruptions, all you are aware about it, Industrial Revolution 1. Now we have termed IR 1.0, then Industrial Revolution 2.0, then the Industrial Revolution 3.0, and the Industrial Revolutions that is 4.0. And Industrial IR 4.0 absolutely has brought bigger disruptions, even affecting how do we live, how do we talk, how do we work. That's also getting affected on account of artificial intelligence, blockchain, machine learning, cloud computing, Internet of Things. All these things are coming. Then what impact it had? Then I'll take you to education. Very briefly, I try to just jot down. I'm putting the facts in front of you. 4 facts I'm going to in front of you. So that, one, McKinsey study, they have pointed out Fortune 500 companies in 2000. They were in the list. Those companies who were in the list. Today, 54% are no more in that list. Only 46% in that list. Means they have been wiped out. 2030, many more may disappear. Standard and Poor 500. 1958, average life was 61 years of successful running. Please listen it carefully. 2020, the life has reduced to 18 years, 18. How much absolutely it is getting affected? And 2027, it is estimated that 75% may disappear. I am putting one Deloitte study in front of you, and that is all young graduates absolutely who are going to pass out, and all the faculty members and everywhere absolutely in this conference that we are participating. 90% of the CEO says company facing disruption. 90% of the CEOs. 70% of the CEOs says that organization is not having skill to adapt. That way people will have to move out or they will have to adapt. Skills are getting obsolete. Can you imagine that is an IT sector? The obsolescence rate is 12 to 18 months only. By the time you pass out, quite possible whatever you learned may be obsolete. Marketing, finance, HR, the whole paradigm of HR has undergone drastic changes. Finance has undergone drastic changes. Marketing has gone drastic changes. And hence, skills are getting obsolete at a very fast rate. My friend, I'm putting one more fact in front of all of you. And these facts intentionally I decided to put in front of you. That is World Economic Forum of October 2020. Industry 4.0, changing the whole paradigm of our working. Very fast. 43% reduction in workforce. Organizations. By 2025, 85 million jobs may get replaced. Means division between manpower and the machines. Replacement. Around 40% needs reskilling. And hence I find continuous learning is thing that is required. I am putting one more fact in front of all of you. That is EduCause. That is concerning my all faculty members and the students. They have, and major concern even this online education also. And they have pointed out 40% students, they feel okay. Whatever going on, fine. 60% students need improvement in our pedagogy, needs improvement in our delivery, needs improvement in terms of learning outcome. 60%. Friends, one more fact I'm putting in front of all of you. That is, all young kids right now, estimate was made in 2015 by the World Bank Forum, who are entering the primary schools. 65%, whenever they end up in the market for getting job, may find entirely new jobs, which are not existing right now. How to adjust, how to adapt? Again, I'm putting in front of all the young graduates who are here and all of us, what sort of world that we are going to be in 2025. That is, I have just noted down again, World Economic Forum 2015, 80% will have unlimited internet in the world, 80%. 10% of the people will be wearing clothes connected with internet. %80% of the world population will have internet. 90% will own smartphone. I'm talking the world. 10% all vehicles on roads will be driverless. More than 50% home appliances would be connected with the internet. More rides by shared, not individual cars. Right now also we find that is increasing. And it is getting affected how we are going to live, how we are going to work, how we are going to talk. My friends, this is the world in which we are going to enter further. Now we are in education. Education is not exception, is part of this world. Don't you feel rethinking is required in our way of working? Paradigm of delivery, courses, evaluation, assessment and evaluation system. Don't you feel? And in this connection, I would like to put one major factor in front of all of you. Since this conference is by Business and Management School, I thought that let me put in front of you the situation of business schools also. I am delighted that whenever Professor Verma has pointed out and Professor Compose is there, absolutely the beautiful, wonderful campus we have. All state-of-the-art infrastructure we are having. But in spite of that, what is happening in the education world? I am putting two facts in front of all of you. One, world level. First management school started in 1881, Wharton Business School. Harvard School came in 1908. Then the Stanford, INSEAD, LBS, means London Business School, Kellogg, INSEAD, and so and so, so and so. Large number of business schools came up all over the world. In our country, IIMs started the journey in 1961. First IIM was established, that is 1961, IIM Ahmedabad as well as IIM Calcutta. Then Bangalore 1973, then Lucknow 84, Indore and K 96. Today we have 20 IIMs. Round about 936 universities we have. By and large, all the universities, they are having management schools, department. Large number of standalone management schools. Now, business and industry, you have seen market forces are working, getting wiped out. Those who are not keeping relevant. Then what happened in the management schools? Again, the market forces are working. And all over the world, if we see, which schools are surviving and thriving? One is survival, another is thriving in the market. In fact, today you surprise even over 100 years. The schools which were established, Wharton Business School, Harvard, and all, they are relevant and they are thriving in the market. Large number of schools have wiped out or not being accepted. In our country also, if you see the history of 50, 60 years, IIMs are there. But all IIMs are not in that category. Certain IIMs are absolutely thriving, certain are not. Management schools, all we find, passing out graduates. But graduates absolutely not being accepted in the market by the corporate society as MBA graduates in terms of, when we talk in terms of worth. Then what lesson that we have drawn from the facts that I have given in front of all of you? One lesson that we have drawn, we may draw from this, that only those business houses, only those management schools, business schools, absolutely they are surviving and thriving. Those who are learning and responsive business schools and keeping relevant in the market. Learning and responsive and keeping relevant in the market. My friends, with this, now absolutely, I'll just address the second point, that is your rethinking management education. This rethinking with respect to what? Very briefly. This rethinking is required, there is a great need. And rethinking is required with respect to 4 aspects, 5 aspects. Rethinking with respect to intent, contents, delivery, assessment and evaluation and feedback, and NEP, new education policy. Rethinking is required with respect to all these aspects. 2 days, absolutely, we can debate on these various aspects. Then very briefly, intent. I will say, as for Haryana School of Business also has highlighted large number of papers, large number of research papers and all, and these papers are coming absolutely other places also. Nothing to deny, and it's a very good aspect, positive aspect, very positive aspect. But there is a change in mindset is required in terms of intent. Why these business schools? Whether these business schools to produce the graduates and taking them to the grill of various functional areas, semester 1, semester 2, semester 3, semester 4, semester 5, 6, and so, and various assignments and say various quizzes and so, or something else is required. 3 aspects I am going to highlight as far as intent is concerned. Intent should be creation of knowledge. I have seen the vision of your university. Creation of knowledge, vision is there. and dissemination of knowledge also. Question arises, really there is a creation of knowledge, new knowledge I am talking, through this research and all. If not, then we are to change our focus in terms of quality research. Then another point, what intent, second intent, our focus should be on learning outcome to see that they get employment. They learn something and get employment, or something else. My friend, change your focus. All the business schools, absolutely, we should change our focus. Focus on what? Capacity building. In terms of learn to learn, unlearn, relearn. Again, I am repeating, capacity building on the part of the students in terms of learn to learn, unlearn, relearn. Why? Today, absolutely anyone who has joined this MBA program, by the time he is passing out, quite possible whatever he has learned may be obsolete. And if he has the capacity, immediately he will adapt and move further. And third point, my friend, I would be talking very frequently on yearly basis, or at least on twice, say once in 2 years, we should have the mapping of employability attributes expected by the corporate and society and our employability attributes, learning outcome. Continuous mapping has to be there, according the courses are to be drawn, according the delivery, according everything has to be there. There are three aspects as far as the intent is concerned. Now I am moving to the next aspect, that is contents. Contents with respect to the courses and contents with respect to delivery. These contents, whenever we design the courses, what are various aspects we should keep in mind? Whether these aspects are being kept in mind or not. When we design the courses, our courses are just say 2-3 words. Our courses should be digitally embedded, skilled aligned. Are we having our courses absolutely digitally embedded and skilled aligned? That's the question. If we have, more seriousness is required in this aspect. Then more convergence is required of the courses. Please forget about this to work in isolation. I'm in HR area, I'm in OB area. So because in real life situation, the world is coming further, getting more integrated. Hence, convergence, more convergence. And then one more aspect that is absolutely required on our part, as far as these courses are concerned, that is industry and society relevant. Certain subjects to be introduced, certain courses to be introduced which are socially relevant in our area itself also. Why I am talking? One part will not be replaced by machine. That is empathy. That means IQ can be replaced, literally say. EQ cannot be replaced. Emotional intelligence cannot be replaced. Hence, to train our students on that part also, certain projects are to be taken, socially relevant projects are to be taken. Accordingly, we can introduce these courses. And my friend, my last point in this connection is, whenever we design the courses, our courses should be designed in such a way that they build on lots and develop on hearts. Lower order thinking skills and higher order thinking skills. 21st century needs higher order thinking skills. With these words, then again I'm coming to the delivery part. Delivery part, only one part I would like to say to all of you, is, of course, pedagogy, math and all. There has to be a focus on learning. And learning is a journey, taking the participants through three aspects: listening, doing, experiencing. And my friend, our focus has to be learn to learn, learn to learn. That is, learn to know, knowledge. That is Gyan Yoga. Learn to do. That is Karma Yoga. And learn to live together. That is Sahyog. Absolutely. All our students are to be taken through this journey whenever they pass out. And virtual labs are to be created. There's a great need in management schools. Virtual labs are to be created. Our SIP needs complete rethinking. Summer intensive program needs rethinking. We should have a rethinking to increase the time also. Instead of 7 to 8 weeks, absolutely, we can increase the time also. And assignments. Again, whenever we give the assignments, please keep in mind lower order thinking skills, higher order thinking skills whenever you give the assignment to the students. Students should be compelled to think whenever they complete the assignments. My friend, then again, I'm coming to one more part, and after that, absolutely, I'll be completing my complete talk. That is one minute, sir. My friend, assessment requires a lot of change in our approach. And assessment should be transparent. And at the same time, there has to be a matrices of employability attributes, and each and every student should be tracked over a period of 2 years. Mapping on that. Assessment also. Now, my last point I would like to share with you, may be debated. May not be anything new in that, but change of mindset is required. I am going to certain focus areas. And these focus areas, one is commit to science. Our approach should be more research oriented. Commit to science. How can be debated? Then my second point is, please seed entrepreneurship. Today, great need of entrepreneurship qualities, creating entrepreneurship qualities. Then how it may be debated. Eliminate boundaries in the functional areas, more convergence. Strategic partnership with industry. I'm talking strategic partnership with industry. Whenever we design our curriculum, whenever we deliver, more interaction is required. And why I'm talking? Whenever all these schools, they were established, listen it carefully. When we talk of industry academic collaboration, but unfortunately, that has been a dream only. In real situation, both they have not much closer to each other. Reasons are there. I'm not going to discuss in detail if the reasons are concerned. Both the sides' reasons are there. Then I'm coming to compulsory project-based courses. More project-based courses. Please introduce more project-based courses. And finally, 2 points. One is leveraging digital technology in every stage of our delivery courses and all. Leveraging digital technology. If we don't do it, absolutely we would be left behind. And my last point is, faculty strengthening is required. Faculty strengthening is required, very important. Mentor Institute, absolutely, we talk in, say, 2010 or so, Mentor Institute. My request is, right now we have the 20 IIMs. Apart from 20 IIMs, there are more good business schools. Can't we have the Mentor Institute in the clustering of 200 kilometer, 300 kilometer. One clustering is one mentor institute absolutely, which can help to strengthen the faculty. That's another part, that focus area that we can have. With these words, 21st century, full volatility, ambiguous uncertainty, ambiguity, who is going to survive and thrive? Maybe business schools, maybe university, maybe individual. Who is going to thrive and strive? Yes, I am using 3 words. One is, who is faster? Faster in terms of ideas, innovations. Efficient, because competitive world. If you provide a particular product or your education at a price which is not affordable, no one will come to you. Therefore, one has to be faster, one has to be efficient, and one has to be smart also. What are the things that you have? How fast you can, how smart you are to take that idea in the market. Because you have a particular idea with you, but your friend may also be having that. Your friend may be more smarter to take that idea in the market. Your idea may be obsolete. Your innovation may be obsolete. Hence, faster, efficient, smarter, with fluency in digital technology, information management, and digital media, managing digital media also. Organization, the society would be requiring a right mix of capital, right mix of quality on the part of the graduates whenever they pass out. What right mix? The right mix would be intellectual capital, social capital, emotional capital, along with empathy, spiritual capital also. That is the need of the corporate world and society. They are looking for this type of graduates. And hence, high time to have rethinking about education as a whole and management education, since this conference is regarding management education in particular. And rethinking with what? Whatever we have discussed, rethinking with that, and having result-oriented strategy, action-oriented culture, and conducive environment in the university, management schools, everywhere. My friends, with these words, again, I express my thanks to the Haryana School of Business, particularly the Vice Chancellor, Professor Compose, and entire faculty of Haryana School of Business, Guru Jambeswar University, as well as Professor Karampal, Director, Dean, and faculty members. Please, in life, have balance of mind, body, and soul to move in this world. Thank you very much with these words. Actually, topic was such, I was to make it a brief summary. Otherwise, we can have detailed discussion on every aspect. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your wise words. Rightly said that your approach to the world of business is the most important in this fast-growing world. I now request Professor B.R. Kamboj, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, to please deliver the presidential address. Please, sir.
A very good morning to all. Thank you, dear students, for giving me this opportunity. Today's chief guest, respected Professor R.A. Yadavji, former chairman of AICT, Professor Upam Puspakji, who is today's keynote speaker, Miss Anuja, Professor Sabnam, Professor Karampalji, our registrar Avnesh Vermaji, Dr. Sangeeta Mittalji, Vandana Singh, invited experts, resource persons, delegates from different parts of the country, deans, directors, chairpersons, principals of other departments and affiliated institutes, faculty members of non-teaching staff, media person, dear students. It's really a proud moment for me that I am a part of this program, this conference, and our chief guest, who is a learned person, and he has already set the context of this conference. What are the areas where we need to debate? And the main thing, we are talking about change. Why it is important? And to change, what are the areas? What is our vision, mission, and delivery? Everything. And that's why, if you see that we are living in a world where not only one sector, it's not a question of management only, but it is a question of life now. When environment is changing, our resources are diminishing, our requirements, and even the lifestyles are changing very fast in that era, because till now there was no dearth of resources. We have to produce only. But now the resources are shrinking. Maybe your soil, environment, water, everything is diminishing. Our population is increasing, though it's now little bit stable also. But still we need to have more. Then if you see the quality of life, again, whether it in positive direction or negative direction, that's again a question to debate. So in those circumstances, when you have to produce more, that to quality, and that too with less resources, really demand of the day, it's a big challenge for all of us. But if we can change the challenges, we can convert the challenge into opportunities, that's another area. And during this COVID-19, if you see that much opportunities have come. You see the digital era, how fast it has changed. And this change, that's why if we talk about our education system, our national education policy, Professor Yadav has very rightly said that if you can't rethink, reorient, and change your mindset, it's really tough to keep pace with the changing demands of the world. Because world is shrinking so fast. And internet connectivity, everything is there. And when you focus on one thing, definitely it has impact on the other thing. So that's why, again, the sharing of resources is too important. And sustainability is another area. As he has said, the student has passed maybe in 10 months or 12 months. The industry requirement is altogether different. Where he will go, and whether we want to survive only till now on the service sector only. Is there any connection between the industry and the education system? And for that purpose, if you see, right now, I think every university have to have MOU with 5 industries also. There's a new guideline issued from UGC. So in that case, because in our university, we have the maximum professors in the HSB. So now it's your duty that how we can reorient our programs and how best we can contribute to the national education policy. Because again, if you talk about the multiple exit and multiple entry system, that's more or less, as Dr. Yadav has very rightly said, that today I am a graduate from finance, or I have a diploma or a certificate course in finance. But the things are changing so fast that tomorrow he will say, okay, this is not a good area. Now you can become an entrepreneur. So you need to have that type of training course. And that too in a digital mode, so that it can be automatically, we can change it, we can reorient it. And the content part is again, that's again how best we can integrate different systems so that it can bridge up the gap also. And it is again, that can be placed somewhere, and there should be some, you can say, output or outcome from the system. So nowadays, we have to think not only about the teaching, rather the innovative research also. And I'm just talking many a time in this university that even the extension also, or the delivery part also. And that's lacking in these areas. I come from agriculture university, and over here, there is a very good system. And that's why these universities have their role in the green revolution also, in the white revolution also, in yellow, everywhere. The reason is because whatsoever we are just producing, that goes to the ultimate user, that's the farmer. And when we just practice in that area, then we have a feedback mechanism from them. When they face any problem, that again come to our research system. We research the again, and then we again go back. So there is a continuous process and a complete process also. So that's why again you are going to deliberate during next 2 days in this conference. So if there is a complete cycle, then I am full faith that there is no question of any worry. We can easily sustain, we can easily survive. But if something is missing in between, then we have to rethink, we have to reorient. And Professor, I'm thankful to Professor Yadav that he might have just compelled you to provoke those ideas. That's a thought-provoking, you can say, address by Professor Yadav. It's not so easy that we have one book and okay, we can have a compilation of these, so many books are there. How much content is important for the industry, for the student, and how we can link them so that at the end of the day, there should become something outcome. That's very, very important. We are talking only about the output. We never thought about outcome. That's again area. So I think I have not much time because I have to leave. Though I apologize from all the your keynote speaker, even Professor Yadav, all my faculty members and the students. I will miss this opportunity. But I request that kindly come up with some concrete recommendations. It's very important because I see after 2 days, maybe 4 points, not saying that you have a 20, 30 points. Let it be 3, 4 points, which we can just implement in our university. We can strengthen our systems and we can play leading role so that everybody will say, because much have been talked about our Green Campus, our registrar, but if you want to lead something, some system, then you have to deliver. So with these words, I once again thank the organizers that you given me this opportunity, and I'm thank to our, you can say, chief guest, Professor Yadav, our keynote speaker, all other learned speakers, and because on 120 paper you are going to deliver over here, that is a huge number. So kindly come up with some recommendations. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Actually, I have taken the word science from your science stream, even in management also. Coming to science.
Thank you, sir, for your knowledgeable addressing. We surely think that with your support, we can, and your guidance, we can easily complete the process of input, output, and the results too.
I now request Professor Upam Pushpak Makhecha, keynote speaker, IIM Tiruchirappalli, to address the August gathering through online mode.
Thank you so much. Can I share my screen? Is that allowed?
Yes, ma'am, it is allowed.
Can you see the screen now?
Yeah, it's visible, ma'am.
It's visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, ma'am.
Okay. A very, very warm good afternoon, I would say, from a hot place here in down south. I am Tiruchirappalli. So I'm really feeling envious of the good weather that you have up north there.
Just a second, ma'am. Hello. Just a second, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Please continue.
Can I continue?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes. I feel there's some echo there. Is the sound echoing? Okay. So I believe that it's not echoing anymore. Thank you so much to the Haryana School of Business for giving me this opportunity. Very, very warm good afternoon to the dignitaries on the dais. Professor R.A. Yadav. My memory goes back to FMS because I am a pass out of FMS from 1998 to 2002 is I think when I was there, and I fondly remember. So great memories you have revived, sir, and a very, very impactful talk and address. Thank you so much for that. I have made many, many notes here at my end. Always a pleasure to listen to a big stalwart like you. And also Professor Kamboj, who is now not there, I think, in the auditorium. Thank you so much, Director Professor Agarwal, for giving this opportunity. We met, I think, sometime back, 2 years back. Yeah. So we met when he had come down here to Trichy for one of the conferences. Big congratulations to the conference organizers I can understand, since I was the chairperson for that particular conference, so I can understand the amount of effort which goes into organizing the conferences, the hard work, the background work which goes into. It has been a very, very emphatic, I think, start for the conference with a good address from Professor Yadav. So I congratulate the conference team for putting up this great show, and I definitely believe that 120 plus papers, deliberations, I'm sure the participants are going to have a very, very insightful and learning experience and journey in the next 1.5 days from now. Again, coming to the topic, again, I asked Dr. Narwal, and he said that the floor is open, you can decide whatever you feel like. So I have taken a particular topic, which let me see if anyone of you could guess from here. So I've put certain news headlines there, and I'll just leave, let's say, for 10 to 20 seconds for people to see that. Are you able to guess that what is it that I'll be speaking on for a brief time that we have now? Yeah, so if some people, I'm sure quite a few of you would have guessed by now in terms of what is the topic. Yes. So this is a really, really burning topic, sustainability. And I have been recently very passionately involved with this topic at IMTRICHI. So I thought that it is a good opportunity for me to share some of my thoughts on this topic, or a challenge which I think is really staring in our faces, all of our faces, whether it is the government, whether it is the corporates, whether it is the B schools, or the future leaders and managers. So I'm going to briefly take you through in terms of, let's say, a brief history of how sustainability as a concept have evolved. And in the end, we will also see the role that the business schools can play, possibly to address some of the sustainability challenges. So briefly, in terms of the history, how the concept has evolved, most of us understand sustainability from the Brundtland Commission time. So this is the report which was given by the Brundtland Commission in 1987. However, when we look at a little bit more deeper into the history, we will find that even in the 17th, 18th, and the 19th century, we had talks, or the word as such on sustainability was being used. Let's say in the 17th century, it was more a concern for the forest department. Should we be harvesting more than the forest yield in the new growth was the main concern that time. The political economists, so to say, in the 18th century, were more worried in terms of whether the land, the agricultural land which is available, will be able to feed the expanding population or not. The debates were then moved with the natural scientists and ecologists, I would say, who were thinking in terms of how do we conserve our environment, at the same time provide for sustainable consumption. Again, the views were different. If you wanted to, conserve the environment, or thinking more in terms of the consumption that will be available for you, which is much more anthropocentric view, which says that, as humans, we control the environment, and therefore we should try to conserve it for our own consumption. Versus there were ecologists who were saying that, the environment should be protected just for its own sake, because all the living creatures have equal rights to survive on this planet. So a lot of views which were being discussed at that time. And when we talk about the political economists, who were debating at that time, the question was there more in terms of, if we talk about economic growth, like how we are talking today in terms of developing country growing and, trying to reach the economic growth like the developed nation, how is it possible that we can do that, keeping in mind the conservation of the natural resources, and also keeping in mind the inequality, social inequality, which gets created whenever you see a high level of development happening. It is possible that there are a lot of inequalities which get created. So is it possible that we should think of a no growth or a zero growth economy? Was a discussion point. However, it was nicely handled at the Brundtland Commission when the Norwegian Prime Minister, she kind of addressed it by saying that sustainable development should keep in mind all the three. So you can have an economic growth, at the same time preserve your environment, and also look at the social inequalities, trying to reduce that. So that was the commission, and we all understand the famous, kind of definition of sustainable development at that time, which was given, saying that development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the future generations' ability to meet their own needs. So this is a famous definition of sustainable development, which we have kind of seen through. However, we will see that there are important landmark decisions which have been taken in the past, which have led to sustainability becoming a greater issue now, that most of the nations and the corporations are required to handle. So most important was the Agenda 21, which was given in the Rio summit by the UN in 1992. That's where the idea of bringing in economic, social, political, institutional, all aspects of sustainable development were the main focus. And that was also the first time that the UN established the Commission on Sustainable Development, which has been a main force behind pushing the sustainability agenda. Another important landmarks, I just put the important landmarks here, although the greater depth history is much more rich, I would say that way. United Nations Millennium Development Goals, MDGs, that we know about, were adopted in 2000. And the goal was that by 2015, that most of the nations who are the signatories of the UN would kind of try to address these 8 billion development goals. And they had almost like 21 operational targets under that. Present, this is when, 2015 is when we had the SDGs, when the member 193 countries had signed for 17 SDGs. And that's the era in which we are today. Most of the countries are working towards the 2030 agenda of trying to address the targets, which are almost like 169 specific targets, which are there for addressing the 17 SDGs. Just to give you a glimpse in terms of what these SDGs are, no poverty, hunger, health, well-being, inequality, responsible consumption, decent work and economic growth, and life on land and below water, and climate action. So most of these 17 SDGs, or we also call them as the grand challenges of today. So this is where we are in terms of addressing the sustainability issues. Now, I would here want to introduce a so why are we so much concerned about sustainability now? Would be the question that might be in your mind. So I will introduce one concept, which is called as the donut economics, a powerful concept introduced by Professor Kate Raworth. Now, what she says is that for us to live, for the humanity to survive, it is possible between two rings. So the outer ring, if you see, is the ecological ceiling. So that means there are certain almost 9 dimensions on which this ecological ceiling is getting measured. And the idea is that as a planet, or as the inhabitant of this planet, we should not be crossing these 9 ceilings. However, if you see, and if you look, some of these ceilings are like climate change, biodiversity loss, land conversion is something which we have already crossed. The ones which are in red are an indicator that we have crossed this boundary, and the evidence of this is really there out there, because we are seeing climatic changes which have never been seen before. We have seen flooding, we have seen forest fire happening for years. So very unexpected event in terms of climate which is happening, and the reason being that we have really crossed the red ceiling, the ecological ceiling on climate change. And there are others which are almost, we need to be really careful in terms of ocean acidification, freshwater withdrawals, and others, which are soon on the border of, getting into the red. In the boundary, if you look at, That's where is the social foundation. So again, the author has, or the scholar has identified almost 12 dimensions, which are the social foundation dimension. And the idea is that for humanity, again, to survive, we cannot be falling down from that social foundation, which is about having the basic necessities being met about, let's say, food, water, health, energy, education, voice, peace, justice. So these are something which will define the social foundation. And the donut economics basically is trying to say that as humanity, how do we ensure that we do not cross the ecological ceiling and at the same time do not fall below the social foundation? And that's the donut, the ring is the possibility for us to survive as humanity. And similar thing, you will feel that there are a lot of, the World Economic Forum, I think some of the reports quoted by even Professor Yadav was about, if you look at the top risk which the World Economic Forum has identified, and this is a recent report which has been released a few days back, and you will see the top challenges are there in terms of the climate action failure, extreme weather, biodiversity loss, most of it which were kind of being identified by the donut economic scholars as well. And you will find that, the infectious disease, which is more likely the zoonotic disease, and we are seeing the COVID-19 also kind of a reflection of that. So these are some of the crises or some of the situations which are really staring at our face, right now. And we need to do something about it. Another indication of this, I would quote again the World Business Council on Sustainable Development, which has come out with a vision of 2050, which talks about how is it possible that we as 9 billion people are able to live well within the planetary boundaries. And they have suggested certain pathways. Now, you might be wondering that, this is much more of a topic which, why should a business school be involved in? Possibly these are more topics for the government to work on. Yeah, but if you see the debate now, even the recent budget is an indication that, several of the points as pointed out by our finance minister were around, maintaining the carbon neutrality or working towards the green supply chain. So a lot of focus, impetus, which has been given in this budget on, the sustainability linked challenges. Now, so the link to the business, I would say, is that now the businesses are cannot really say that it is not my problem. Yeah. So it is, since the challenges are at a level that if we don't address it as a humanity, and when I say humanity, is just you and me equally responsible, equally accountable for taking certain actions, the corporates being equally responsible, and also the government. So unless the entire world kind of unites to address some of these challenges, it will be difficult for us to live within those planetary boundaries. Since it's a humanitarian crisis, I think it deserves and kind of action points from all involved. So slowly, and I think now with much more emphasis from the government, many of the corporate now actually made responsible to work towards a lot of these goals, which are about net zero, about carbon neutrality, about circular economy, and the green, let's say, even I heard that even your campus is pretty green. I heard that even you work on, in one of your missions, saying that managing the environment is also a part of your mission. So if you look at all of this, I think the businesses are more and more, moving towards, sorry for that interruption. And also, if you look at even the SDGs, so you might be wondering that, is there a link between the SDGs and the business? Yes, there is. And more organizations or the corporates are now being asked to map their strategic goals around the SDGs. So as a corporate, how are you addressing the environmental challenges? How are you addressing the inequality challenges? More and more mapping is what the government is really focusing on. A recent, I think, circular or the diktat which has come from SEBI is that the top 1,000 companies in India will have to report on something called as the business reporting and sustainability reporting. So BRSR is the report that the companies, the top 1,000 companies would have to file. So it is kind of voluntary this year, and from next year, it is going to become mandatory. So the reporting on ESG, reporting on environment, social and governance is now becoming a mandatory part for many of the companies. And therefore, the linkage between sustainability and business has to get more and more stronger. So there we have a very, very powerful SDG compass, which has been developed by the GRI, the Global Reporting Initiative, the World Business Council on Sustainable Development, and the UN Global Compact. They have come up with a SDG compass, which helps the companies to map some of their strategic goals with the SDGs. Now, if you talk now, if let's say the businesses are required to contribute to sustainability agenda in a big way, then how can the business schools be left behind? So we have to really catch up and try and help prepare our future managers and leaders to handle some of these sustainability issues. I heard Professor Avnish saying that management gets into and pokes its nose into everything. Yes, so even here in sustainability, I think the role has to be equally being played by management, and every decision, like how even Yadav mentioned that every decision involves management. And so these are bigger decisions which the companies have to take now. And therefore, it becomes so relevant for us to incorporate some of these skills which are around sustainability into our students through some of the courses and some of the programs. So I have quoted one of the paper, Professor P.D. Jose from Bangalore actively works in this place, in the space of sustainability. And he had done a review of the business schools in terms of where are they on the sustainability education. And I've taken some of the points from there, in which it says that although the report is in 2016, and I'm sure after that much more progress has been made by many of the schools, the indication was that most of the schools as of today have more or less elective courses around sustainability, around environment management, although there are certain courses on corporate governance, business ethics, and CSR. But specifically addressing, let's say, the environment issues, the green operation, sustainable supply chain is what the world is working towards. And as indicated by Professor Yadav, that we also have to look at the employability and the match some of our curriculum with the industry requirement. So industry presently requires managers who understand sustainability. And therefore, it becomes imperative for the business schools to impart this kind of an education through some of the courses or programs. So the report kind of says that there are schools which are having environment management, green operation, more or less these are, let's say, the electives. There are a few schools who have introduced master's levels program in sustainable business management, which is around, let's say, environment management or sustainability management. In the IIMs, I think IIM Lucknow is the one, MDI, BIMTech. So these are some of the examples which are, so the whole list is there in the report. So there are schools which are working towards this, but there are challenges which the schools are facing. And some of the challenges that I have mentioned here is that most of these programs have not really scaled up. Because if it was a batch of, let's say, 20, 30 or 60 max, the seats not really being filled up, and they've not been able to scale those programs up. Second is that mostly it is faculty driven. So they're like here, and I am really passionate about sustainability, and I take up courses, and I have designed a course on sustainability and human resource management. So this is more driven by a faculty. So this is not really an institute level initiative which is being taken. Most of the courses are disjointed, they're not integrated. There's hardly any research funding which is forthcoming. There are collaboration challenges. Also, and I have equally faced it, is that there are very few teaching resources which are available, especially, let's say, in the B school context. So you find that many cases or many books and topics which can be referred to, let's say, by the engineering institutes, but not really by the B schools. So the integration of these concepts in the B school, the curriculum is something which is lacking, which I have found. Also, in terms of the Indian context cases, simulations, books are really, really not there. So this is again a big challenge for a faculty to pick up, and start taking courses around these topics. Student perception, I think there's a lack of appeal. Students not really wanting, still the major focus in most of the MBAs still is around, finance and consulting and marketing. So who would really take up the sustainability, related courses? So the lack of appeal is also one of the challenge. Recruiters' interest, they're not really sure whether the B schools are really preparing there, and therefore you will not find companies who are coming and offering, roles around sustainability. So it's again a cycle, I would say, which needs to be now become a virtuous cycle by, a combination of the students' interest, the recruiters' interest, the faculty interest, and the institute interest. Some of the ways to address, I have put there 1 or 2 points from the report itself, which says that can we focus on institutional capacity building by investing resources and, training some of your faculty to take up these courses, research fundings to be arranged. Some of these centers, if which can be opened around sustainability, could be, helpful. Creating repositories for teaching material on sustainability. This will involve a lot of collaboration from all the scholars in India and also abroad who are taking, like I'm involved in one of the forum, which is an international forum which discusses sustainable HRM. And we meet at least once a year online, is the February meeting that we had. But it involves a lot of effort from all across to start building these repositories, so to say, for teaching. I would also say that building a community of practice on sustainability around all the B schools would be a helpful practice. Create student awareness, and unless the students are aware about some of these recent developments and sustainability topics, I think they will not take up. So that could also be one of the ways in which it can be addressed. Also, the entire curriculum right now for the MBA is much more focused on the shareholder value maximization, which is a focus clearly on the single bottom line. And if not through courses, but if the orientation of some of the curriculum, some of the courses could be changed towards multiple stakeholders, the interest. So that could also be a step in that direction. So these are some of the points from my end. I think given the time, I would want to not really share what I designed as a course for sustainable HRM. I would want to stop here, and I would just make an appeal really from my end, saying that all of us here should give our bit towards sustainability and start thinking on some of the topics and the areas of interest that we all can take up. And I'm wishing all the participants a lot of success for this conference, and congratulations to the team and the organizer. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your amiable expression. I request guest of honor, Ms. Anuja Agarwal, Chairman and MD Invest Ascent, Bangalore, and she is the proud alumna of Haryana School of Business and will be addressing the audience through online mode.
Good afternoon, everybody. I wish I could have been actually there at the conference hall to address all of you. It is a great moment of pride for me to actually being a guest of honor when actually, all my teachers who have actually taught me what an MBA is and what management is are here as a part of, still the teachers are who they are. So, of course, I'm here not as managing director and chairman of Invest Ascent. I'm here as an alumni of HSB today. So I must appreciate the way the university has progressed, the kind of infrastructure that you have today. I was a pass out, for people who doesn't know, I was a pass out of 2000-2002 batch. And when definitely the things were quite different than what we can see today, except that, you had the same teachers who always motivated you to a great extent to do great in life. And I think that's the biggest I would say, an asset of the university, an asset of this department. So thanks to Professor Karampal Singh, I would name them as sirs, so teachers are there. So thanks to Shabnam ma'am, Sanjeev sir, Krishnoi sir, all the teachers who are still there and all the teachers who are actually not there anymore with the university, Turan sir, Kundu sir, everybody in the system, for actually grooming us to a level where we are today. I don't know what am I supposed to talk. Yeah, there was no topic as such. So I rather thought I share some of my experiences and I share what actually you can look at when you go into the industry. Right. So, of course, I don't have anything which I have prepared. I just thought, let it be spontaneous. Of course, it has a lot of emotional value for me to be here as a part of this conference. Right. So, I think I, of course, come from a background of families, from family. I'm, of course, born, brought up in Hisar, studied in Hisar as a student. And till 24 years of my life, I've spent in a city, Hisar. Of course, I come from a family where I'm the first woman who started working, and thanks to all my professors actually to motivate and give me all kind of a support that they have actually presented at that point of time, much needed support at that. Now, of course, I came to Bangalore 18 years back. And when I came to Bangalore, I knew literally not even a single person in Bangalore when I started working. I always started being into sales, although being a financial, I've done my MBA in finance and marketing. And when I was doing MBA in finance and marketing, a lot of people used to ask me, why you want to do finance and marketing together? I mean, finance, we always think finance is this side and marketing is this side. But according to me, finance and marketing is a wonderful combination, and I can vouch for it today, purely because of it, that marketing tells you how do you stand in the organization, right? In whatever field you are, whatever, whether it is HR, analytics, strategies, everything, you need marketing, big time. I still remember a class by Sanjeev sir, first class of marketing, where he was teaching us Philip Kotler. And the first chapter that we understood was need. Need, I think, if people understand in any organization that you go tomorrow for a corporate, or even if you're an entrepreneur, you wanted to start up your own business, need is the core of the things. If you know what are you addressing the need for, what need are you looking for, I think you're done with it. I'm a financial analyst myself. I'm a financial advisor. And the only difference between me and the other financial advisors that brought us here is that we understand the need of a client, right? So it's extremely important for you to understand first a need of yours and then need of a corporate. Just don't run after, the placements are going to happen. You'll find a lot of companies coming up. Don't run after the brands. Don't run after the salaries. Understand first. I know all of us are desperate to get jobs. That's the first thing when we do MBA, we want to do that. Understand what are you looking at. At that point of time, when we actually worked, passed out in 2002, Hisar didn't have an opportunity. His parents were not ready to send us out. There were lots and lots of asterisks attached to it. But today you have immense opportunities. Look at what you look at, what you want to do in life. What do you love to do? And when you say what you do, love to do, when I hire today, I'm associated with a lot of MBA schools in Bangalore because I do a lot of hiring as well. One important thing that I look at is attitude. Attitude makes you different. It's the knowledge, which of course every B school provides, and your teachers do a fabulous job on knowledge. Your concepts, your fundamentals has to be definitely clear. But what makes you different is an attitude. I believe every company which comes to look at for your placements would look at a right attitude. So when I look at a lot of freshers today, they have a lot of attitude. Oh, I want work-life balance. I'll work from 10 to 6. Oh, when I want to get into a strategic planning mode. Come on, you are a fresher. Please, I mean, we all talk about in MBA. I'm talking to ground a reality today. We all are from MBA schools, for all B schools. We all have learned amazing things. But when you actually start, you're starting your career, and it's always good to start your career from basics. It's exactly like when you start studying, you can't come and directly study in a big school. You have to study from nursery, UKG, LKG, and then go. How brilliant you can be, but you can't go to the college directly, right? It's the same way when you're starting your corporate career, that point of time, you cannot start directly from, at a director position. You need to really grow. And when you grow organically, I'm not saying don't grow inorganically. Inorganic growth is amazing, provided you actually have a strong base. You understand what you're doing. You love what you're doing. So please don't shy off from doing jobs which you think, oh, I think it's below my MBA culture. I'm a B school graduate. Why should I actually get into something like this? Be open when you're getting into a corporate culture. This can take you miles forward than normal people. So that's a bigger, I think it's a great learning that I've learned into my corporate, saying that once you understand the basics, okay, I stayed into corporates for 5 years. And then I thought of starting my own organization. I was 29 when I started my own organization. Almost like now it's 12 years that I'm able to run my organization. I had others also who started the organization similar to my level. Only difference between me and them was I've grown up from the basics. I've understood everything. Today, of course, I run a team of 20, 25 people. But if anyone is not there, I'm in a condition to survive because I know my job very well today. Don't be just a manager or don't be just a CEO of the company. Being a CEO of the company ideally means you should be in a condition to do everybody's job. For me, that is a CEO. That when I'm able to do everybody's job the way I want, people will not take you for a ride when you are getting into a corporate. Go when you're going to the corporates, go with an open mind. I've seen a lot of people taking jobs depending upon what salaries, what packages are they going to get in, irrespective of whether they're liking the job or not liking the job. So it's extremely important. I took a job in HDFC Bank. Of course, things were different, but I took it. And my salary was just 3,567 rupees per month at that point of time. Of course, I had lots and lots of, again, my parents were not against it because they thought that 3,567 is actually a very low amount. And I was not able to meet my own expenses of travel to that job. But trust me, I would say all today where I'm sitting, that job has made me learn. First 2 years of my career I did almost everything that's possible in a banking system. Understood interacting from a peon to a CEO of the company was my job. And that's where the difference that I could see myself making today is purely because of that job. So it's extremely important when you choose the right profile rather than choosing a right CTC, especially in the first 2-3 years of your career. Yes, if you're made for that, nobody can stop you ever in life to grow. But give yourself good 2 to 3 years of foundation to understand each and every aspect of the industry. Choose an industry very, very well. Look at from an angle of it's a learning phase. It's a B school plus phase for you, where you're actually learning how to survive in the corporate, how to work, what are the ethics that you need to learn. Don't look at jumping your jobs very quickly, at least for the first 2 years. It's extremely important. I consider it as a B school plus category. Of course, I might not be sounding great to a lot of people because everybody goes out of B school thinking I'll make a humongous amount of money. And trust me, you will. Maybe we just need to brush ourselves a little more when we are actually getting into it. That's a great and a humble request to all the students who have been listening to this and who are going to be looking for placements in the coming months to do that. So that's point number 1. 2, when I was talking about attitude is an extremely important thing. Think about a situation today where half of your teachers, half of the people who are sitting in this room is going to have a family, have commitments towards the family. Today, you are in a position where you have no commitments to your family. You have, you're not married, you don't have kids at this point of time. It's a great amount, it's a great time to actually invest that particular time for your career growth. So don't look at, things like, oh, I have to leave at 6 at office, 6 from office because I have a lot of work. I have my social life. Trust me, social life will come back. I'm not saying no social life at all, but I'm definitely saying if your corporate or if your job needs you, be there when they need you the most. And that is when they will eventually start recognizing your importance to the job. My dad always used to say, you need to be so much, you really need to work towards it to so much an extent that somebody, ahead of you will think, if you're not there, what will they do? And that is what is actually required in a corporate. You need to create your own identity in the corporate. And how do you do that is with the right attitude. Whether you're at a lower stage or whether you are at the manager or whether you're a CEO position, whatever position you are, attitude in life will make a lot and no difference. Whether you're handling a client or whether you're handling your own boss or your subordinate, when you go. And I think the teachers has always told us the same thing when we were in this, B schools, where they say, yes, your attitude towards things, man, it makes a lot of difference. 3, which I feel is very, very important and missing in a lot of people today, is dynamism. How dynamic are you? I know we don't have switch buttons from moving from house to office and office to house. A lot of people say, don't carry your tensions home. There are a lot of things, but dynamism is one thing which you really need to go. The way the things are growing in an industry, the things are changing. If you do not update yourself, keep yourself updated what is happening, you're not ready for change, then we'll die our life, much before than our retirements. Today, if you look at, especially in Bangalore, when I manage my clients, I look at the retirement age has come down from 60 to 45. And the reason of 45 as a technology, especially if you're into technology industry, is because they feel they are obsolete after the age of 45, because you've grown from this to this to this, and you don't know how to grow further. And the only option that you can grow further in life is, you need to keep yourself updated. Keep studying. I still, every year, I have a mandate to do 2 to 3 courses. Of course, NSC, BSc, all my compliances keeps us on foot, always on our toes, always. But there is always a scope to improve. 4th, I think most of us talk about SWOT analysis in finance. A lot of SWOT analysis we have understood in business. Have we ever done SWOT analysis for our own selves? And when we do a SWOT analysis, what do we think? We have been taught to look at our weaknesses and understand and improve that, right? But has anybody taught us that look at our strengths and make it more stronger? If your strength is your communication, if your strength is your numbers, if your strength is your marketing skills, what is the strength that you want to encash upon is an extremely important part. Please, when you're working again, on your weaknesses, you also need to work on your strengths. Help you. If you know your strength, you would love your job. Today, last 12 years, when I've started this company, everybody told me, oh, it's a wrong time to get into the industry. 2009, when markets were having a subprime issues, 2008, the world economy was in a bad state. 2009, I planned to start off my own organization. I was carrying that time my second child. I was 8 months pregnant when I started this organization. But the thing was, I was very, very confident that I can do justice to my clients. It is the strength. You need to understand an importance of improving on your strengths. You need to improve on your weaknesses, but improve on your strengths as well. No, please do a SWOT analysis. All students who are looking for placements, do a SWOT analysis, understand what your strengths are. Every interviewer asks you, what are your strengths and weaknesses? How strongly do we actually talk about our own strengths is the conviction that comes to you only when you do your analysis by yourself. Understand what you're good at, what you're bad at. And when you're good at and you do something which is you're good at, you would love what you do. And then you have no stopping. You will do anything and everything to make it happen. So that's another thing that I feel is an extremely important aspect when you are actually looking from a placement perspective. Yep. So these are my tips when you go to the corporate world. But before going to the corporate world, there must be a lot of people who want to sitting in the room talking about entrepreneurship, right? That's why I think I've been called being an entrepreneur. I personally believe it's an amazing journey of being an entrepreneur. Yes, I think as Indians, we have in our blood to be entrepreneurs, and we all aspire to be entrepreneurs. But to be an entrepreneur also, you need to understand how the corporate world works. I give you an analogy today, especially from my own experiences. I've been working into the corporate into different levels. When I left this company, when I left my last company, I was with HSBC, I was heading South Zone for the wealth management piece. Probably I was the youngest because I just had 5 years of total work ex when I was actually heading the South Zone. And then that is when I thought of leaving the company and started off my own, because my growth after that would have been only if I would travel myself, relocate myself to Mumbai, which was actually not possible for me with my family commitments. But people today, what I've looked at is a lot of people who turned entrepreneurs from day one find it very difficult and very insecure because they've not gone to the corporate world. They have not seen, and they do their things their way. It's extremely good to do their things their way, but it's important that you have an exposure of the corporate world, even if you're thinking of entrepreneurs. So if anybody is looking at being an entrepreneur from day one, my humble request, spend 1 or 2 years into the corporate, into different fields, understand how an entrepreneur works, how an organization works. You are going to create your own organization. Unless you're looking for an entrepreneur who's a single-headed entrepreneur and you're not looking for hiring people, yeah, I think you can go in from day one. But if you're looking to have hiring skills, or if you're looking to hire people, if you're going to lead by examples, then I think you should look at hiring, go into a corporate world, at least get an experience of 2 to 3 years, and then learn from the others' mistakes and start your own entrepreneurship journey. Be patient when you're looking from an entrepreneurship journey. India has an enormous scope for an entrepreneurs, right, and hardworking entrepreneurs, I would say. Yeah. Having said that, nothing comes to you easy. So you really have to work hard towards it. Just a thought saying that, oh, I've done my B school, I'll get my job, I'll get a nice cabin. The answer is no, you would not. You would be treated as you would be treated as a fresher. You would be treated as if you don't know, you have no experience in the industry. And that is where I call those 2 years as B+ school training 2 years as a corporate for you. So be humble. Another important aspect when you're being an entrepreneur is empathy. Please do empathize if you're hiring people for yourself. I agree with Professor Upam saying HR is a skill. And being an entrepreneur, you need your skills, which has to be a combination of management is a skill of finance, marketing, human resource, and strategies. All of them together. I don't believe in segregating them anymore now once I've reached to this stage of my life. I personally felt that, if we know only finance, I'm done with it, or marketing, if I'm done with it. The answer is no. Being into a corporate, you need to know everything about it. So the mistake that we thought that it's only these many subjects and I'm good with it, the answer is no. You need entrepreneurial skills. You need to be a team leader or a team player. Individually, you can never succeed in life. Individually, unless you take all your team or the team that you're in, you will have to grow faster. Team helps you to grow faster. Synergize. Never. When you get into a corporate, one big thing that I've learned is never hesitate to ask for help. Ask, learn. There's no one who feels bad if you're not knowing it and you accept it and want to learn for it. But never make these mistakes of saying, oh, I know everything, I don't need any help. So please do ask for help whenever. You have lots and lots of alumni. I mean, university is doing great job in terms of connecting a good amount of alumni. Understand, learn from their experiences, that what brought them to that level. So that is another thing I think is very, very important, is the team playing spirit. So we all want to grow, definitely. We all want to show that we are the best. That's a human nature. So that's something that I've learned from my boss, which he says, Anuja, if you do something great, is not great for me. The day your team starts doing the same thing that you do is actually your achievement. And that's just stuck to me. So it's exactly our professors, right? So they all want us to excel in life. It's nothing great for them, but it's great, the feeling of an achievement that yes, somebody whom you can train has done great in life. So it's a great honor to be a part of this. And I really wish that I could have been into that room talking to you guys face to face. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your experience, the nostalgic moments, and the insightful information you shared with us. Going ahead, I now request Dr. Sangeeta Mittal, conference convener, to propose a vote of thanks to the August gathering.
A warm and graceful afternoon to one and all. Learned Professor R. Yadav, former Chairman, AICT, New Delhi, Chief Guest for the inaugural session. Visionary Professor B.R. Kamboj, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Guru Jambeshwar University of Science and Technology, Hisar. Erudite Professor Uppam Pushpak Makhija, Professor, Indian Institute of Management, Trichy, the keynote speaker for the session. Veteran Miss Anuja Agarwal, Chairman and MD, Invest Ascent Bangalore, the guest of honor for the occasion. But the registrar of the university, of the university, Professor Avnish Verma, esteemed Professor Karampal Narwal, Director, Haryana School of Business, and the inspiration of the conference. Dynamic and vibrant Dean, Haryana School of Business, Professor Shabnam Saxena. Able, energetic, and scholarly, Dr. Vandana Singh, the co-convener and my constant support in organizing the conference. Worthy resource persons, conference participants, and delegates, respected deans, directors, chairpersons, and branch officers, media persons, other guests, worthy colleagues, and the hope of the nation's my dear students. It's my honor and privilege to conclude the inaugural session of HSB 14th Annual National Conference on Business and Management by extending a vote of thanks to all of you present over here. I express my gratitude to the learned and erudite keynote speaker, Professor Uppam Pushpak Makhija, Professor, Indian Institute of Management, Trichy, who willingly accepted our humble request to be with us on this occasion. Without inkling, his long experience in different academic and administrative capacities in management education is motivating for us. Thank you, ma'am, for your presence and insights that has set the tone for the 2 days national conference. I convey my sincere regards to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor B.R. Kamboj, for sparing his precious time to preside over the conference. Your inspiring leadership is the key to the successful organization of this grand academic event of HSB. Thank you so much, sir. We profusely thank Registrar Dr. Avnish Verma, Guru Jambeshwar University of Science and Technology, Hisar. Sir, your presence has made this function very special. I'm extremely grateful to Professor Karampal Narwal, Director, Haryana School of Business, for his unstinting and forceful administrative support to the organizing team. We convey heartfelt gratitude to Professor Shabnam Saxena, Dean, Haryana School of Business, for providing her able guidance and necessary academic support. The sincere and painstaking efforts of Dr. Vandana Singh, my co-convener in organizing of this mega event, must be recognized in this moment. I express my deep sense of thanks for smooth and successful conduct of the conference. The conference will not be successful without the organizing efforts. I thank all the members of the organizing and the committees and all my colleagues and students who have been involved in this particular exercise for the last several months. I take this opportunity to extend our gratitude to the distinguished panel of speakers, delegates from different states and honored guests for participating in the event. Our sincere thanks to the participants for preparing excellent papers and being with us for making presentations. I thank all the deans, directors, chairpersons, and officials of the university for your gracious presence at the inaugural function. I convey my thanks to the print and electronic media for the efforts they have been taking for coverage of the event and for highlighting various business management and research issues. Above all, I'm grateful from the core of my heart to the Almighty, whose blessings are with us all in making our efforts successful. Thank you all once again, and we look forward to an extremely productive 2 days of discussions on issues of business and management research. We are sure the conference will have highest level of presentations and discussions. Upholding the motto, the show must go on, the Faculty Council of HSB has designated Dr. Suresh Kumar Bhakar and Dr. Vijender Pal Seni as the conveners of the upcoming HSB 14th Annual National Conference on Business and Management to be held in February 9th, 10th, 2023. We assure our commitment to this critical annual event. May I thank you once again and request you all to join us for lunch at the crush hall just outside the seminar hall. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for the cordial expression. And thank you all for making this inaugural session a successful beginning to this year's conference. That brings us to the end of the inaugural session of this 2 days national conference.
Please join us for plenary session on National Education Policy 2020, Challenges Before Professional Education at 2 p.m. in Seminar Hall 1. We will begin with the technical session at 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. online.
All the delegates and guests are requested to please take their lunch at the crush hall. Thank you.
Thank you.